Try to see if we can pull it up. Okay, no, that's not going to help. It's going to take too long doing it that way. So let's put cross up here. That site might prove helpful, but the fact that it didn't have the word cross, giving us the Old English understanding of the word, you see, what I'm trying to get you to understand, and I'm not trying to make you understand, I'm trying to help you to understand, where are we? Not there, not there, not there. We are, go back. Trying to help you understand that what I'm saying is truth, that there is Old English and Modern English. Old English only has 1,026 words. And you could, if you listen to Old English, you could see how limited the language was back then. But English, they take words and compound them. And they compound them. That's why the language is so difficult for so many people to understand. When they're learning a new language, when they're learning English, it's so different to understand, difficult, because it has too many rules. So you go from Old English to current English, and it becomes difficult. Now, I never typed that word in, so let's do T-U-R-O-S. Let's, it's S-T-A-U, steros. Let's see if we get the definition for steros. I doubt it, but could not be translated. S-T-A. No, I don't see it. I was hoping we'd get the definition for steros. Let's see if we can. Well, let's do that. Let's do Latin. Let's do that. I know it's Greek. I know it's not Latin. But let's see if the Latin has it. Okay. And then let's do crux. C-R-U-X. We're going from Latin to English, so let's see if we can get it this way. We have crux. I saw the word appear. So, as I mentioned before, it is a Latin word. Crux, it translates cross. As I mentioned before, that I already knew. What I do need to know is the definition. So, let's see if this is going to give us the original definition. I'd rather have the definition in Old English. Let's see if it gives us the history. You see, that works. A rude cross lay flat in a barren. That's not it. Pay attention to this so that you'll see that I wasn't wrong when I correctly stated. In Old English, it meant pole or rod. That's what cross translated to in Old English. And you have the different language. And remember, crux translated into cross. However, here it's rod, not cross or cross beam. Why? Because that was the meaning of it 400 years ago. It's not the same meaning now. It has changed. It has evolved. Why? Because the English language has changed. Certain words do not mean the same thing today that they meant back then. But crux, that word has remained the same. The meaning of it has not changed. They tried to apply the cross word to it, the new definition of cross, but it doesn't add up. The word cross in Old English meant rod or pole because it was translated from steros. This is what research gives you. The reason why I know this is because I originally looked in old dictionaries that had the original origins of certain words. And this one lets us know that it translates rod. Now, of course, we're not going to understand the other ones because they're in other languages. But you'll see all these other languages pretty much mean the same thing. Latin and Spanish, pretty much the same language. That's why you have C-R-U-X, C-R-U-Z. But the definition, rod. Imagine that. Well, I'm glad that you can see that when we do research, we do research. We don't take opinion for anything. And you see how much time it took for us to find what was necessary to explain that the scriptures say Jesus had to be hung on a tree, stake, or pole, because that's what the original words reference: tree, stake, or pole, upright stake or pole. The Greek word being stauros. I don't know what the Hebrew word for tree is. That Jesus had to carry his pole, and they impose service upon someone to help him carry that pole. That Paul says that Christ became a curse instead of us, because it is written, accused is every man hung on a tree. Peter said that Jesus was hung on a tree. Remember, Peter was there. He was an eyewitness as to what Jesus was hung on. So when people tell you that Jesus died on a cross, they're just going by tradition. They're telling you that. They're not showing it to you. And so when they show you the word in the King James Version, what they don't do is show you what it meant originally. They don't tell you that the King James Version is in Old English and that the meaning of certain words is not the same for today. All right, we want to thank you for viewing 2x3. This video will probably be in 4 different segments because of the amount of time it took. Let's take a look. This video is 1 hour and 31 minutes long. It will be 1 hour and 33 minutes long when we finish. But it is necessary for us to do this video this way so that you gain an understanding. Now this is a software that we're using for the first time. Let's see, what's the name of this software? I don't even get a name. Let's see. Nope, I don't get a name. Let's see if we can do... No, that's not helping either. I'm trying to see if I could tell you what the name of this particular software is, and I can't because it doesn't give me a name. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop right now. We want to thank you for taking the time to visit us here at 2x3. As always, we do not advertise. If you found your way to this site, then we'll have to suggest it as being divine providence. We will never tell you what we think. We will never tell you what we know. We will always show you what we're talking about. And every time we reference something in the scriptures, we take you so you can see it for yourself. Every scripture is backed up by 3. No scripture will ever contradict itself. So 2x3, every scripture never stands alone. There is always at least 2 witnesses to every scripture. I want to thank you once again. And remember, Jesus said that just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness on a pole, the Son of Man must be lifted up the same way. He said it was necessary because he had to fulfill prophecy. Sorry, that's the last thing we have to show you, because we told you that Jesus kept saying that he came not to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law. So that's Matthew's the 5th chapter. And let's take a look at where Jesus says that. It's going to be roughly right after verse 15. Look at verse number 17. Don't think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you that sooner would heaven and earth pass away than for the smallest letter or one particle of a letter to pass away from the law by any means, and not all things take place. Please understand, Jesus had to fulfill the law completely. All 300 prophecies referencing him had to be fulfilled, including what he would die on, how he would be impaled, what he would suffer. It was absolutely necessary, because if he didn't fulfill the law, remember what he came for, because he says, I came not to destroy but to fulfill. He would not have fulfilled the law. And truly, he fulfilled the law. So he had to die the way the law stated, the way prophecy stated, not the way man wants to believe. Again, Jehovah says that he will tolerate no rivalry. He will tolerate no other gods against his face. He will tolerate no idols. So why do people have crosses on their arm, on their chest, on their necks? Why do people have crosses on their church and their home, on their pictures? Those are all idols according to the Bible. And Jehovah says he will not stomach it or tolerate it much longer. Well, thank you once again, 2x3, at the 2x3 YouTube channel. We ask that all of you have a very good day.